picture, Jordan.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. New song.
Welcome to Mansfield Buzz with Jordan and Hurley. Local business stories, let's dive in early. Jordan asks the questions, brings stories to light. Hurley runs a tech, keeps production tight. Build trust in a town, discover and explore hidden gems and stores you never heard before. Community connection, that's what we're about. Tune in, join us, see what Mansfield's all about.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Mansfield Buzz. It is Thursday, 2 p.m. We're on every single Thursday, 2 p.m. Jordan and I have been doing this since March of 2024, every Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. with our wonderful Mansfield businesses and the surrounding communities. Show number 63, Jordan, just so you know. And we're excited. If you guys happen to be, make sure you hit the thumbs up button on YouTube under there, build up the algorithm, hit the like button. If you want to comment. I'll show those comments and make you famous. But better than that, we want to thank you guys. If do me a favor, we're still stuck, Jordan, about 162 subscribers, which isn't bad for a local show, but we want to get to 200 by the end of July. So if you know 5 people right now, send them a link to the YouTube channel. Say subscribe to these great guys. They have a great, fantastic show, and they cover local business, so you need to be a part of that. All right, so there it is at Mansfield TX Buzz. It's a YouTube handle. All right, so next, we're still averaging in the 1,700, 2,000 views per 28 days, and we're still averaging 35 to 50 watch time hours, which is really good. That means people actually pay attention. And, of course, I think they really like the shorts, which we love that too. But it's really cool. It leads into the long deal. So Christine with SandRayz is with us today. We're going to get to her in a few minutes. But before we do that, we have a sponsor. And that sponsor is, and let me get over here to their introduction, and we'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome to Icebreakers. We love to start the show like that. Our sponsor, Liberty Tax Defenders, and I'm going to read what they want us to read from a compliance issue. So it is your premier tax resolution firm. We work every day to help hardworking Americans keep more of their money out of the hands of overzealous bureaucrats. We help our clients solve problems with back taxes, unfiled tax returns, payroll, and trust fund issues. We also negotiate payment plans and offers in compromise that are favorable to our clients, as well as represent clients who are under audit before the IRS. In addition, we help clients navigate tax issues such as employee retention credit, as well as providing CFO, consulting, tax preparation, accounting services. We have successfully helped our clients save over 2 million, not 1 million. We've got to change that. I say that every week. And assess taxes and penalties. If you find yourself under audit, owing back taxes, you can call us at 817-995-5008, or better yet, go to libertytaxdefenders.com. And just to let you know, Brad Horton is the mayor of Kenningdale, and he owns this business along with Wade Dennis and Fred. And by the way, 15 years Brad spent the IRS writing codes, so maybe that would be a good person to call if you're under audit, or if you get a letter from the IRS, do not put it in a drawer. Please give them a call. So thank you to our sponsors. Now, Jordan, let me remove this, and we got a special guest today. I would say a friend we've known quite a long time in Mansfield Network Group, done business with her. She's awesome. And she stated that she was terrified.
But we get that a lot.
We get that a lot. How many times have we heard that, honestly? Like probably every single time?
At least half of the shows.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but nothing to be afraid. And welcome to the show, Christine. It's been a long time. I know we've been asking you to come for a long time, so it's a special treat for us.
Yep.
Treat for me too.
And so we have you here. We're gonna go into icebreakers, but first I got a comment, man. I love your office. Like, it's just gorgeous. I love the colors. Just
her background looks better than ours, Jordan.
I know, it puts me on the shame, and I put
up our game.
This one.
We need to step up our game.
Yeah, I think you might know a thing or two about branding.
One or two, yeah.
Yeah, she does.
But before we go down the rabbit hole, we always love starting with a icebreaker. to get to know you a little better. And this is a really nice treat because, a lot of us know you from the Mansfield Networking Group, but they might not know about this. You went to school in France.
I did. I was a French major at the University of West Florida in Pensacola. And my fourth year of college, because I had 5, I spent at the University of Caen in Normandy in France.
Wow. Can you still speak French?
Oui.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually can. After a couple of decades of not using it at all.
Of course, I get that.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of use for French in Texas.
No.
I found that during COVID, the Alliance Française, which is located in Plano, they have multiple chapters throughout the U.S., was actually offering Zoom classes. So I was able to join those classes and all those networking groups that were on Thursday nights that I could never attend. It's because I was taking those classes. And so my French teacher, Mathilde, actually helped me get my proficiency back up to where it was when I left France. So
awesome.
Pretty proficient. Now there's still some vocabulary and grammar issues that I have just through lack of use, but I'm working on those.
Pretty much. Hey, I understand that. That's cool.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd ask.
That's really cool. That's awesome.
Really cool. Not a slacker country not to go to, right, Jordan?
Yeah. I was going to say you should go to Paris, France, but I don't think that would help. Oh, no, Paris, France. Paris, Texas.
Paris, Texas.
I don't think that one would help, though. I mean,
I've been there, too. Not quite as nice.
Yeah, not a lot of French.
No.
Well, we jumped down that dirt road. Way to go, guys. No, it's fabulous.
But so let's hop into the show and just keep getting to know you a little bit better, because I think this is another thing people don't know. But before SandRayz, you actually had a background in corporate, which, surprisingly, a lot of people that we talk to have that path. And, myself and Hurt included, went through that corporate grind.
Yeah.
And came out at the other end stronger, better. But
right.
It's not always the rainbow road that they paint you. So I'd love to talk to you a little bit about your years in corporate, and if you could share about, just how you experience that, especially with regard, with recognition and how that's handled in the corporate world, whether it's handled well or not, or maybe not at all.
So my main experience in the corporate world was now quite a long time ago. In fact, I had been working for a company for several years, and it was a global corporation, and I had moved up over the years, and then I was going on maternity leave, and I trained 2 new employees before I left. Came back 6 weeks later, discovered that those 2 employees were now earning more than I was. So it really made me feel unseen and undervalued. And unfortunately, it destroyed my loyalty to the company. So 2 days later, after I returned, I tendered my 2 weeks notice.
Bye-bye.
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 Because I was driving an hour or so from South Arlington to Addison.
Wow.
In rush hour traffic. At least an hour each way, missing time out with my newborn. You guys know what it's like. The commute around here is crazy.
Yep.
And it just wasn't worth it to me. So that's basically how I started really going down that rabbit hole of recognition, where companies don't do that for their employees. At least they didn't really do it a lot back then. I think they're starting to really get on the bandwagon with it and understand how much value it really has to value your employees and do that in a visible way.
Yeah, because I hear that a lot. And I believe it's a statistic somewhere where of the percent of women that go into the workforce and then leave on maternity and they just don't return or quite shortly after. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of those studies failed to look into that recognition and value that goes into that aspect, because you're being asked to make a huge sacrifice. And you said it yourself, right? Like driving an hour there, driving an hour back, which is just kind of looked as part for the course.
Right.
But when you do the math, that's an extra work week at the end of the month. So you're actually working 5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it goes completely unrecognized, and that, in nowadays there's so many different aspects where that can have a big factor. But what I really like about that is, like, you went off on your own, you took an entrepreneurship path, started your own business, but now you're tackling that directly, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I like is that, yeah, what you're doing is, you create this beautiful awards, but it's clearly bigger than that. So I'd love to get your take onto, like, what that represents to you.
Yeah, and the way I look at employee recognition, the award path, is this quote that is mainly attributed to Maya Angelou nowadays. It's, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
That's really what the employee and even client recognition is about. It's about your connection to those employees, to your clients, and how you make them feel. Is that a positive experience for them? Does that foster loyalty in your organization and in your clientele?
Yeah, absolutely. And then just that feeling, right? Just in making it tangible too, because I was thinking, and it's something that we chatted about, and there's actually research about this, right? So you can recognize somebody, but the way you go about it, doing it too, speaking about how you make people feel, it's so important. So there's been research where, like, if you actually give somebody a cheap generic trophy, like, it actually backfires. Like,
Yeah.
So when you go in the corp, because I can almost see the corporate thought, like, oh, we must be awards. Okay, let's order a bunch of awards. Like, check the box, we're good. Next.
Let's get a certificate.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, please let me have a certificate.
Oh, let me have a picture, please.
Yeah. I liken it to the participation trophy effect, right?
Yeah.
And there's a line from that movie, The Incredibles, where if everybody's special, nobody's special. That's what I call the participation trophy effect. If you are just giving awards to give awards because you think that's what you need to do, that's not going to have the desired effect, and it will actually decrease morale. There's a study from O.C. Tanner that was done this year, and it says that when you give awards that are worth $250 to $500, you get such an a positive emotional response.
Yes,
Whereas if you give a $5 award, you're really going to do harm to your company morale.
Absolutely.
People know when they're not being valued, when it's just, well, here's something. Let me give you something. Oh, I value you. And they know when you're being sincere and when you're not.
Yeah, it's putting quite literally putting your money where your mouth is.
So,
Exactly.
so speaking of rewards, back in the early 80s, I worked for a big paper manufacturing company as a sales rep for years. They had great recognition programs, and they had quotas during the year. And if you reach your quota, you will not believe where I went for 2 weeks completely on the house. And it was called Maui, Hawaii. Was a trip, complete 2 weeks, everything covered, not one single dime out of pocket, and could take a guess.
That's nice.
And you don't think that doesn't bring loyalty back to that company when they're investing that kind of, kudos to you doing a good job. So you're exactly right. It makes a huge difference.
It does. And I find that a lot of companies do that for salespeople, right?
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily do it for other employees.
Exactly.
And the tech employees, the customer service employees, it's all about sales. And while that's great, they need to realize that the other employees within their organization need to feel valued too.
Absolutely.
And I found that it's even more important this day and age with the amount of remote workers we have. because you're not in the office getting the attaboys, that
Yeah.
that actual real-time feedback that
Right.
you normally get from an office culture. If you're at home in your home office, like I am, like my husband is, if you're not surrounded by something that makes you feel valued with all those hours you're putting in, then it really kind of creates this detachment from the company, and it's just, my screen's on, I'm on a call, great, now I'm done. But
Yeah.
if you are surrounded by your company's appreciation, like you would be if you were in the office, it really makes a difference in your morale and your overall attitude to the company.
Yeah. I would also imagine it hits a little bit too, a little bigger, right? Because you have a relationship with your manager, but when you get a company award, like it puts that sense of gratitude, not only coming from your manager, from the institution as a whole, so you yourself feel valued about the whole institution instead of just one individual, which has a bigger impact to us.
Yeah, it really does. And if it's a tangible, a physical reminder of how much you're valued, if you're in the office, it's displayed on your desk or in your bookshelf or wherever you decide to put it. And it's not only you who sees it, it's your manager that comes in and sees it, it's other employees who see it. So you are recognized by the whole organization. And if you're a remote worker, I know my husband has his behind him on his bookshelf, and he gets asked about them all the time. And it really makes you feel special and makes you relive that moment of appreciation and being valued.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
And that's it's a really good segue too, because I know you personally, so I know the way you work, and you go above and beyond. But you're what I like about what you do is like you're a craftswoman, but not just on the thing itself, but the experience. And the level of detail that you go into it is just incredible. So I love for you to walk us through, like, when somebody gets a SandRayz award, like what are they going to feel? Because I know I would say you craft an experience, not an award.
That's the goal, right? Is to craft that experience. I want everybody, when they receive an award from our company, I want them to feel seen, respected, valued, and even celebrated. The recognition, especially for employees, it really can fulfill 3 or 4 of those needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's something that a lot of companies don't think about. They think salary is all you have to do, but an award, some sort of recognition. It doesn't have to be winning something. It could be for the completion of a project.
Right.
And anything like that. You've been there for 5 years. That loyalty can be rewarded because we do perpetual awards as well. But so back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's the 3 or 4 that are covered are the safety and security. So if you're being recognized, you feel like your employment's secure. It's kind of a confirmation of sorts. You also get the love and belonging. You feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. You're part of this company, which fosters that loyalty that they're really looking for. It also fulfills that need for self-esteem. It allows us to have respect for ourselves, as well as being seen as valued by others. And then that 4th one that's possible is the self-actualization. When we receive that sort of recognition from our company and are surrounded by a physical reminder of it, it confirms that we're on a path to becoming our best selves.
Yeah, I love that.
That's awesome. I actually don't feel like such an egomaniac for enjoying awards so much.
No, they're really valuable to us.
And you're right, Christine, about the other departments and big corporations, the people that are behind the scenes that are managing huge amounts of data, like CRMs that are supporting the marketing teams, that are being the assistants to large projects, that maybe are working 10 times more hours than the actual project person, right? You don't see them. I really truly believe you're on the right track by, giving corporations that you want to service a chance to say, hey, we really want to start recognizing our employees because, we're short people today in some of these industries, and you want to keep your good people. What I don't know what the training value is today to have to let somebody leaves. It's very valuable, and then to replace them not only costs salary but it costs training and time. So keep retaining a good employee. If it's as simple as giving them a really nice reward and making them stay loyal, that's awesome. I love that.
Well, speaking to that point you were just making about the cost of it, it costs between 50 and 200% of an employee's annual salary.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
That's how much it costs a company to acquire a new employee. So when I say, $250, $500 for an award, it sounds like a lot, right? And you don't necessarily have to spend that much. Those are those high-end crystal velvet lined gift box awards, which are the be all end all in award giving. However, there are other options, but 50 to 200% of an annual salary just to acquire a new employee. It makes that $250 to $500 not sound like such a big expense anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man, how cool would it be if the corporations had their own kind of like awards night? You know what I'm saying? With red carpet and recognize some of the big players and had these beautiful, cool awards. One thing the LMN business does, the multi-level marketing business does, which is one you might go after, is they really do reward their people not only with money. I'm not a big MLM fan myself for direct selling, but they do reward people handsomely, a lot. So some corporations should take advantage of that. Yeah.
I do think, Christine, you hit it in the head, though. It's the salespeople, it's the income generating people that get the celebration, and not the support the infrastructure that allows that to happen.
Yeah, it's a very synergistic relationship.
Yeah,
because salespeople have to have something to sell, and so if they don't have something to sell, they're not going to make any money for the company. And the contrast to that is that the people making the product have to have salespeople to sell it. Otherwise, they're making it for nothing. So you really have to have both pieces of the puzzle to make a successful company.
Yep,
I think so. To wrap it on a bow, if you are talking to HR leaders and executives, what is something you'd want them to know about the value of recognition?
Just that it's a really important program to put in place. And I would call it a program as opposed to just doing random recognition, because you want employees to know that they'll be recognized at the end of a project when they hit a certain goal, when they've reached X number of years at the company. And it really gives them something to look forward to. I know it sounds a little silly, but as humans, that's really something that we need is hope and something to look forward to like that. It may be just a small symbol of how the company values us, but it's something that we really need as individuals.
Yeah. But growing businesses could participate in that too, right? Not you're talking about the corporate level, but some of these medium businesses, maybe 5-10 employees that are on the up and up, rewarding those employees that are loyal to them as they're growing, it would be a huge deal too. So
absolutely. The smaller businesses, it's important too, because those 5-10 people for a small company are usually involved in every facet of your business.
Every bit of it.
and to replace somebody, to replace that knowledge base, that experience base within your small business is impossible. It takes years sometimes to replace that. And so if you can retain good employees, that's really the way to go.
Yeah, I just rewarded myself 2 rewards on my other 2 personalities that do the other jobs behind the scenes. I just gave myself some beautiful awards. So
That's awesome.
yeah, had to do that. Had to take care
It's
of that
hard when
hurdy
you
guy.
work for yourself.
Had to take care of
Isn't it?
that hurdy guy.
You'll have to give us a statistic of how many businesses of one you help.
That's right. There's 10 of me out there, and we were doing the job, so I
There
had
you
to
go.
reward them. There you go. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Sorry
But I think
about
you're totally right. You know, just that I hadn't even thought about it until you just said it. But yeah, I mean, those smaller businesses too. Like,
that. Yeah.
I think this is a big corporate culture kind of thing, and to some degree, it is. But a big corporation can afford 200 times salary. What is 200% of a salary to
Mhm.
acquire the next person? Can a small business do that? Like, if you lose that key person,
No, they
No.
die.
could you replace him, or how big of a hit would that be?
Yeah, it's a huge hit.
Huge.
Yeah, that's I hadn't even thought about that. That's critical. Like, some of those people, like, you know, and you might think you're expressing it or it's an understood,
Hmm.
but you know, if I've learned something over the years, is you better say it out loud. And
Yeah, and it's not just saying it; it's more than that. If they have that tangible, that physical reminder, they're going to see it every time they enter the office, every time they walk past it, or somebody notices it. And so it's those little dopamine hits that we get
yeah,
every single time that it's seen.
So one of the things we used to do in Austin, getting ready to tell a story here. Got to throw a story in, right, Jordan?
yes,
Is that we had a pretty good network group like we have here, and so we would just get online and we would make somebody the most outstanding business in Austin or Round Rock, Texas, and we would just have everybody post that out, and then we give them a reward. And they got tons of business because everybody said, "Wow, we got to use them."
it's like, oh, great, that's funny.
Maybe we should do that.
That's
There you go. It's
Yeah.
good to be the hype person for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my point is, once you recognize somebody like that and you put them out there, they really got involved with the online thing, and they really did start getting a lot of business because we as a network group were rewarding different people once a month for their outstanding work. And then we were giving them like cakes and cupcakes and nice glass rewards and things like that. So, you know, they could put them on their desk, and then you don't think they didn't participate in the network group that are now out. Yeah, they did constantly. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it gives people a sense of pride and also sort of a standard to live up to.
Yeah.
So they feel a little bit of pressure, but not bad pressure.
Good pressure.
Good pressure
Yeah.
to live up to that award.
Yeah. And it's something that a company has the ability to create value from nothing. Like, you could just materialize value. Because I was thinking, and Herdy, you know this, right? Like, the awards you get from YouTube when you hit certain benchmarks.
Oh my God, I'd love to have their silver, platinum, whatever for a half a million, and then you hit 1 million subscribers and you get a gold thing, and those people put those up behind them. Plus, they get swag out the gazoo.
Yes, but then it's brilliant. Right?
Swag.
You have all these content creators that are so proud of their awards that they have them on.
Oh my God, and they're stuck forever. And
Yep.
plus they get monetized. They get all sorts of kudos. So, you know, as bad as they can be really good with their creators. So that's pretty cool.
You know, a total recognition program that
we're going to be there. Nothing. We're going to get there someday.
Oh yes, we are.
We got to get you up to 1 million subscribers.
We're doing it.
We're going to get there.
Yes, and we said it live, so now it's recorded.
It's out there.
What a goal. But yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that keeps people on it's a competitive world online. There's a place to go podcast anywhere you want. So why would somebody want to stay on YouTube? Well, you get nice square gold, platinum, and awards and swag from them, which is pretty nice stuff, by the way.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. So you're on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
It's I mean, it's, as a business, it's just too good to not do it. So go ahead. Christine like now, yesterday.
I know Jordan's working with you, but have you thought about going on AI? Since you work with HR departments, right? Have you thought about going on AI and asking it to give you all the major corporations in Fort Worth, and then asking it to build a table of the contact numbers direct to the HR departments? Have you
I
done?
have not done that yet. I'm so busy making that.
Well, I
that-
think Jordan can. I think Jordan can produce that
Oh,
fairly quickly for you.
Jordan
our
would be
contact list.
great. He could knock that out very quickly.
I know a thing or two about AI, so yeah, I could. do
I
that.
love the fact that you guys are attached. I'm just sitting here listening to this kind of first time, how the strategy's going. And what I love is that you are really onto something. The fact that you guys have this really high end equipment to make, all this nice award things. And I see two behind you, as a matter of fact, on your desk, which are really cool. Um, and helping these corporations, give them a mission and give them some message to help out their employees. It's really a brilliant idea. Awards have been around, but it's brilliant you're thinking this way. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah, and we're here to make the really nice ones, the high end stuff.
That's good.
Because we're a very small company. We don't have the staff or the right. I know. we want to.
She needs an award.
We want to go for quality over quantity, right? Yeah. I could crank out thousands of thin, generic awards all day, every day, but they're not going to have the effect that a really beautiful, crafted award is going to have.
Absolutely. And it will make a difference. I remember in 2008, I got the outstanding leader, or outstanding member in Round Rock Chamber of Commerce down in Austin, and they gave me a big, beautiful glass steel engraved with, outstanding member 2008. And I was like, kept that thing. Every office I was in, I was putting it somewhere, because you remember those things,
You do.
Yeah.
And it's a tangible reminder of you feeling valued by an organization.
I love it.
Yeah. And what people don't know is that Christine's other half is a mad scientist. So she's over there playing with lasers, sandblasters, crazy printers that could print like around things. Like it's like she could really make something that, you and I could never do. And you could definitely not click an order. Like,
you drive by their house at 2 a.m. and red and green and blue lights are shooting out the chimney, roof, windows, garage windows.
Now, I would
not exaggerating.
No, I could totally imagine. I've toured the shop, dude. It is nuts. It's nuts. If you haven't seen an industrial size laser cutter, man, that is something. But I wanted to bring up another thing that we touched upon a little bit, but I think it's really cool is, we talked about YouTube doing the custom trophies, but that's also a really sneaky way for YouTube to sneak their signs and their branding onto social. And Christine, you also work a lot on signage. And one of the things that I think sometimes people miss is they see signs as functional things, right? Like you need a sign for something, but you treat them as statements. Can you go a little bit about that? Because you go about it in a much more, in my opinion, strategic way.
Yeah, I really like to look at the environment of where a sign's going to go. Usually office signs, you've got a wall. What color is the wall? What's your lighting like? How are people entering your place of business? That's for an office type thing. The signs for an office, they really set the tone for your experience. It's a visual handshake of sorts. It sets the mood, whether it's going to be luxury or simplicity or any other set of tone you want to make for your office. Whatever works for your brand, your sign can do that visually as soon as somebody enters your space. And conversely, if somebody's working from home, a lot of content creators, having a sign in the background like this one, that will always be there. Every time somebody shares your video, it's behind you. It's that subtle branding that's always going to be there. It's a physical watermark. So instead of just having it digitally across a picture or a video, you've actually got it physically in your space. And so it makes it much harder for somebody to appropriate your pictures or your video and not credit the brand. And it's
so in other words, in the world of AI, they can't steal it if you have your sign back there.
They can, but it's a lot more work.
I understand that.
No, but I think that's brilliant, right? Because
I do too.
Every business is a content creator now, and if they're not, they need to be, because
they're a publishing company. Absolutely.
Right.
And that is building the brand into the set. So
Yes.
if you're going to repurpose video, which everybody's doing, and you're going to like what they call like swiping somebody's video, like you still have your brand recognition like baked into the video. So
right,
it would take so much work to try to like, even with AI, like to try to just like change that. Like it's way more work than is what it's worth. So it's not copyright protection, but it's probably more effective than copyright protection.
It helps. And it's, I come from the baking world too, where everybody's taking pictures of their cookies and cakes and things. And we were always told to watermark our work. Well, that's great, but it's so easy digitally to remove a watermark. So we started creating physical watermarks for people to have their name or their handle for Instagram in their photo, so that's much easier, much harder to remove than just a digital watermark. And signs like this do that for bigger businesses as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's ways to do that, and everybody should be thinking about that. So
that is brilliant, especially with podcasting now really taking off. I know a lot of businesses are now rolling out their own podcast, and I don't know if people know this, but you can use AI tools where you can use the podcast. You can use the podcast URL, put it on the AI tool, and it will cut social media clips for you.
That's amazing. You mean Bertie's not doing all of that work?
Oh no, he is. He is. He definitely is.
I need an award.
He definitely needs. You know what, Christine? Let's chat about this. I think I'm gonna get an award for the Mansfield Buzz.
There you go. I've got you covered, Bertie.
But there is shotgun strategies that a lot of channels are using, where they're just like doing this massive dump of content that they're just clipping and dumping. All right. And these podcasts, if they're not branded, like if the art direction of the room didn't include the brand, that podcast is jeopardized because it doesn't have that inherent brand, like just like literally baked into the show.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
and everybody laughs why I keep a virtual background behind me. It's the exact reason, just to make sure that somebody can't come in and just rip the whole thing off. That's stuck there. It'd be really hard to remove that. So you know,
well, and you got to think about how many times are we on social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, where we see something we just love and we just share it. How many millions of times a day does content get shared? And that allows your reach to go beyond your immediate followers.
Right.
And it's just good business to get your name out there as much as possible. You never know where it's going to lead.
That's fascinating. That is a really smart thing to do. I hadn't really thought about that. Like, I mean, I have a lot of really funny things on my office, but like, yeah, you're absolutely right. One of those should be my logo.
Yeah, so Sandra says, I love the idea of behind you in your own video. What size is the most popular?
Well, Sandra, it just depends on what your goal is. If you're taking a picture, if you're doing a video like this, I actually made this sign with the help of another local small business, Dawn at Hawaii Fluid Art. She helped me out a lot to get the really cool resin background that I was looking for to match our brand. And then I laser cut our logo to put in the center of it and painted the outside and did that. And I think that one, let me see, is probably 24 by 30, something like that.
Yeah.
I could take it down off the wall. I think the measurements are still on the back, but it looks so nice right now. I'll do that afterwards. And I can let you know, Sandra, what size that is, but it really depends on the space that you're going to have it and what your goal is for that sign. That's
that might be
we look at.
That might be something, Jordan, for us to get on and talk about, because there's green screen backgrounds, white backgrounds. You can put your logo on. There's all sorts of ways to set yourself up video to brand yourself. And I would recommend that people that are shooting verticals and shorts and videos like we're doing today, you've got digital rights protection. You just have to make sure you come up with a way to protect yourself. And AI is causing a lot of issues with copyright, but you know what? They'll get resolved. New technology always interrupts everything.
The thing I do like to what I think this is so smart is, you have digital right protections, but to enforce those rights is expensive.
Is two different things. Absolutely.
So it's much easier to just brand your space and much cheaper.
I like
go
it.
after somebody because they infringe on your copyright, but now you have to spend money
to defend that copyright. It's so hard to do, but if your logo's always in there, everybody knows who it actually belongs to.
Yeah,
So.
And I would you and them both. Yes, you should. It's so nice, and I think it's very tasteful. Like I have beef with the digital backgrounds because they're not clean, right? Like even you would see Herdy moving around now, and it's just just moves around.
Stop it.
You have to stay very still, Herdy.
The only time those digital backgrounds work is if you have my haircut. That's the only time it works.
And I will tell you, it's been the real way to do this. The real way to do this is to have a space cleared out with shelving in the back, with purple lights on the floor, with kind of the umbrella lights in the front of you, and actually building a studio within your home if you really wanted to do it right. If you want to do it wrong, this is exactly the way to do it. But I don't care. I want to have fun.
Herdy and I are a perfect mix.
One of the reasons we're doing it this way was to kind of keep it to show people it could be conversational and not so high production, but still good information. So, but you're right, Jordan. I have to be really still.
I can tell you I'm chatting with you after the show about the buzz, right?
Yeah. Okay. And Sandra goes lots of laughs, and she should be. It's kind of funny. We're going down that dirt road. So signage is important. Copyright's important, and you're recommending, Christine, and like we all are, that if you're going to start doing videos and stuff, make sure you got your brand on there.
Right. Always. Brand everything.
And I'm not sure on pictures, people can still erase stuff in the picture. That's not really cool, but on video, it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
harder. And it messes with the video, because you could tell, like, it's trying to delete something that, part of it.
They're called jump cuts, and they're fairly obvious. Wow.
So I also wanted to talk to you about another thing that you do that I think is really cool too, because nowadays we have access to everything, and curation is one of those things that have now become very valuable. Just being able to select, and you're very, very selective about the things you handle. And I wanted to talk to you about, and I love this because you told me the industry term for this, which I think is really funny. But whenever you get corporate stuff, right now, and it's mostly junky things like keychains and pens. I believe in the industry they call it brand fill.
Yes.
Brand fill.
Brand fill, which when I heard that, it all just clicked, because those are the things that get thrown away. Pens we might throw in a drawer and keep for later, but everything else is just I don't want to call it junk, because some of it's
I will.
very
No.
useful, but stress balls and keychains.
I
Some
want
of
a
those
tape.
are
I need another
functional.
tape measure. I really do. I need a tape
Everybody needs
measure.
it. Now, but if you're a
It needs to be this
contractor,
big.
Well, that's
if you're a
fine, but
contractor giving away tape measure, that's different, right?
I give them to them. Right.
It's and it's all about what aligns with your brand. If you're a let me see, a notary, for instance, a pen might be exactly what you need, but do you want just a 2-cent pen from the dollar store? No, you want a nice pen, maybe something that was hand turned, made out of wood,
Yeah.
or something really special.
Really cool.
So you've really got to look at, and I think this is what we do fairly well, is what is your brand? What are you representing? What event are you using the swag for? You know, and what else do you have going on? You want a large picture, a 3,000-foot view of where the swag is going to be handed out or displayed or given, so that you can make the most out of your marketing dollars.
Yeah. Those swag bags can be
Yeah.
I still have swag bags in my office from conventions I went to 5-10 years ago that I have never unpacked.
Right.
Never.
And I know exactly what swag bags you're talking about.
Yes, you do, because I bet you have some in your home too.
Oh my gosh.
It's just, you want people to be excited about what you're giving them.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, we don't print on generic golf balls. If you want to give away a golf ball, I'm going to print on Titleist Pro Vs.
There you go.
Because
best golf ball.
Those are the golf balls people are excited to get, right?
That's right.
Unless you bring me golf balls you want to use, which normally I don't take, I'm going to print on Titleist Pro Vs. If a golfer loses a Titleist Pro V in the woods, he's probably going to go look for it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that the ball is worth about $5, right? But in the realm of golf balls, that's a lot of money, and it's expensive. And a Titleist Pro V is a status symbol of sorts. So to give out those golf balls with your logo on them to people who golf or to people who know anything about golf.
I've been rattlesnake hunting several times.
There you go. That's how I would be if I actually golfed. My husband's the golfer in the family. You know, it's important, and it makes a statement.
It does.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, because I've been in, been in the corporate world, and especially in the advertising space, you get a lot of you get a lot of vendor gifts, and they're all over the place. Like, from like the companies that I work for, some of the agencies that I work for were pretty large and pretty profitable. Working with clients like Old Navy, Nike, like it's they give you some nice gifts, but then other ones are just junky, and all of that stuff you get rid of it. But I tell you what I didn't get rid of, and we're talking about this. They gave us this really nice Patagonia sweater. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Right? And I stopped working there, and I'm in marketing, so I don't want to market somebody for free. Like, I'm not a billboard, so I don't like wearing somebody else's logo unless they paid me to. So I literally took the time to take the stitching out of it so I could keep the sweater. But the underlying, truth of that is, everybody that worked at the company that still works there wears the sweater.
Loves it. Sweater. Absolutely loves it.
Yeah. And you kept it, and you wear it with or without the patch on it.
It doesn't matter.
You still wear it, and you know who gave it to you.
That's right.
So even though you removed their brand from it, it's still brand loyalty, because you appreciate the gift and you still use it. It's not thrown away. The research shows that high-end, really useful swag, we're talking the golf balls, the portable chargers. Everybody who goes to a conference needs a portable charger. Right?
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we're all tied to walls with our phones plugged in. those types of things, they create more brand impressions over time, and it builds emotional equity in your company.
I will tell you what, you're onto something there. I have 4 of those Patriot chargers that you just plug your thing into, charge through solar plug-in, and I would love to have swag like that. That's the kind of things that people like to have. They're useful.
Right.
They will use them every single day, and they'll see your name on it. It makes total sense.
Exactly.
Do you partner? That reminds me, and do you partner up with people that sell that kind of stuff as an affiliate so you can brand it privately for, is there private branding through some stuff you can do?
Sometimes.
Okay.
The high-end stuff, we
make it
acquire
yourself.
ourselves and brand ourselves.
Make it yourself.
Sometimes I have companies that want things that we don't normally provide, in addition to a regular order of our merchandise. And so I have some trusted partners that I work with.
Good.
That help me with that.
That's awesome.
But going back to the branding and the high end stuff, without having brand fill, something that I like to remind my clients about is that when people see your brand, your name, your business, it takes a minimum of 7 times before they remember you.
Absolutely.
7 times. So if they have a pen, and minimum of 7 times, that gets thrown in a drawer, they're not going to see that. If they're playing golf with a golf ball, imagine how many times they're going to see your brand name on that golf ball,
Well,
or
I remember
on their portable charger, or something they use every day, a tumbler, a Yeti or a Stanley, something like that.
So
they're really going to remember you.
Yeah, you're right. And I can tell you the golf ball story. I had broke up with a girl a long time ago, and so I had her picture on the golf ball and could not wait to play my 18 holes with their picture on the golf ball.
Was this before or after the breakup?
This was after.
Was that just so you could hit the ball?
I smashed that ball.
You probably got like an extra 100 yards out of those, huh?
Probably.
You know, there's always a story, right?
Right.
Draw a smiley face on it and go, launch! Boom. Goodbye!
Yes.
But hey, that's just cool stuff. And I'm telling you what, the fact you guys picked Titleist golf balls, that's the #1 golf ball played by golfers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I saw some baseballs you did. That'd be cool for corporate things mounted like on a cool stand for. Yeah, you guys got to use this lady. She's fantastic business, and they got the equipment.
Yes, have all the equipment.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see it. I'm still interested in a tour of the big, large piece of equipment you got in. I still want to see. I still want to see that. All right, Jordan, take it away. Sorry to interrupt you, but I had to tell a story about hitting my golf ball. Now, those I didn't mind losing in the woods. That was the whole point.
They weren't Titleist Pro Vs, I bet, though.
No, they were not.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you'd get in trouble for still having that picture.
That's right.
Exactly.
So, Christine, how do you know when a business is ready to level up their merchandise? You know, go from brand fill to like memorable. You know, like actually memorable material.
I like to look at businesses when they're starting to host events, when they're attracting media, or even if they're just wanting a cohesive brand identity. Their customers or employees have really become brand advocates for them, not just ambassadors, but actual advocates, and they want to give something memorable. They're looking to reinforce that loyalty and create a lasting impression and elevate their image beyond just that giveaway swag, beyond that brand fill. You can look at back to the pen things. Bye, Sandra. Because while pens are nice and useful, have you ever decided to use a company because the pen that their name is on made you feel valued?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, exactly. It does. They're great. They're utilitarian. Okay, everybody needs a pen. but they don't make you feel valued.
No.
And that's the difference between what we provide and some other companies that are out there. That are not necessarily bad things, right? It's just a differentiation between us.
Yeah. I can definitely relate. There is a community workspace are popping up everywhere, and in Dallas there's one called the Continental Gin Building, I think it's called. They turn it into a co-working space where you can rent offices, and it's gorgeous building. When you sign up with them, they give you this really nice Yeti coffee cup with their logo on it, but it's just nice. And I was looking at this like, well played. I'm going to be using this forever.
Right.
Because it's got a handle. It's a 20 ounce. Screwed on, it actually locks, so you can put coffee in there, one spill. Like, okay.
Yeah, cups are getting sophisticated, and they do bring the value today. So, I mean, especially the Yeti cups. So people love to have all their. She's got something printed behind her. It looks like the plastic one, but for walking.
Oh no, that's powder coated metal.
But that's what I'm saying. Those are just extremely valuable, and people use them over and over and over and over, right? And when they wear out, they order more.
Exactly. And I never go anywhere without my tumbler. So
no, yeah, and we have them in the car ourselves with everything on them, and so it's really cool. Yeah.
So Christine, like, what are your visions? Like, you're definitely making a dent in the award space. Like really venturing to science and helping us distinguish ourselves and helping us not make shitty gifts.
Really? Yeah, exactly.
So what's next? What's your big goal, and what do you want to leave behind?
Well, I want SandRayz to be the go-to for businesses who want to say thank you in a meaningful way that really lasts. Branding and recognition, when it's done well, it creates this ripple effect, and it fosters a better culture, higher retention, and also deeper connections with your employees and your clients. And I guess ultimately, I really want to help reshape the workplace and client culture, one meaningful award, sign, or gift at a time.
Yep.
Because we really put that care and thought into each custom piece that we create for businesses.
So do you mind, I got your website up here. Do you mind, can I put your email up? Is that a good place?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
So let me make sure this is okay. Is this you right here?
That's me.
And then also you can visit their website, which is really cool. I love the fact that, Jordan, that taking this award thing to a level in the corporate environment and making it meaningful to the people receiving those awards, I think is awesome. I don't think I've been on a podcast or a business that said we want to do meaningful things for awards. We don't want to just present the swag, although we could do some of that if we needed to, but we just really like the high-end award market. We want to make sure that people get nice stuff. That is really cool. So Jordan, when are y'all getting my award? That's what I want to know.
Jordan can order one for you, and you can order one.
No, I'm just kidding. We'll just deem ourselves the Mansfield Buzz Show of the Year or something like that.
There you go.
Now you know what you're getting for Christmas this year.
Oh my God! Yeah, I got a Saturn rocket. So, you guys, Jordan, fabulous what y'all are come up with on this attraction, and I still think you should get a list together of all the HR departments and corporations and build a table out of it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and knock that out. Any final thoughts, Christine? Did you make it through today's podcast without being actually terrified?
I did. It helps that I know you guys personally.
Sure.
So there's already a great level of comfort
in
talking to the two of you. But you really made me feel very welcome.
Well, that's a good thing. So, guys, I want you to, every single week, Jordan says the same thing. We started this at 2:00. We've gone on an hour, Christine, and it goes so fast. It's hard to believe that we can have this kind of conversation for an hour and keep it going and say the right things. But so any final thoughts?
See, I wasn't prepared for that one.
It's not a question on the list, but just anything.
Yeah, I would tell companies, don't phone it in. If you're going to create a recognition program or recognize your employees or your clients, to really put the care and thought into it so that they know how much they really mean to you.
There you go.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Well, guys, we are on every single Thursday from 2 to 3 o'clock on the Mansfield Buzz on YouTube. And by the way, we also streamed live today on LinkedIn, just so you know, because I know there's a lot of CFOs and corporations there, and I have a lot of connections. So I streamed this live to my platform today. So, and it'll stay there. So that'll hopefully help you out. And we also are on our Facebook group page. So, it's going to some other places, just so you know. But if you want to be in the Mansfield Buzz, a real simple way to contact me is Hurdy@hurdyburke.com. Just we have this fantastic show in the subject line, and we will get you on. We are now working on late June and July bookings. So and I even got a September booking today, Jordan, just so you know. So we are filling the gap. So Christine, thank you.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, guys, we will see you next Thursday at 2 o'clock, and come back and join us next week. We're going to be talking to a home inspector. The rock star home inspector will be here.
Ooh.
Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.